How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel. This is Big Daddy Dave, and this is a map tour for Farming Simulator 22 on the mod map, Araguaia Valley Map. And we're going to start with the description from the mod hub, and it reads, Map with relief based on region of Vale do Araguaia, which corresponds to three cities that are divided by the Garcias River and the Araguaia River. The map has fields of different sizes and it has an industrial area as well as several sales points. Have a good game. This map was created by Araguaia Games and is 92.22 megabytes to download. Now, if we go ahead and check out the map, there we go. This is what it looks like. You start right here towards the center of the map, right where the two rivers kind of meet together. You own farmland number 3 up here just to your northeast-ish. You do start out with animal pens. No contracts are available on this map. You do start out with a couple production chains, a large and a medium-sized greenhouse, and there are collectibles available on this map, 20 to be precise. The only mods that are built in for this map, if you go to landscaping and under painting swatches, you do get several additional painting swatches. So what we're going to do from here is we're going to go ahead and teleport to our main farm so that way we can take in what we have and we don't have to run around everywhere. And trust me, there's a lot of running around that we have to do for this map. So let's go ahead and do that. So here we are at our starting farm. Let's go ahead and check out our starting equipment since we're here. So under the shop menu, under own items, if you open up your small tractors, you'll see we have a Massey Ferguson 5S 105. Under medium tractors, we have a Massey Ferguson 3670. Under harvesters, we have a Rosselmash Nova 330. Under cars, a Lizard pickup 1986. Under trailers, a Crampy half-pipe HP 20. Under corn headers, the Ziegler Corn Champion 5R. Under plows, the Agromass POV 5XL. Under planters, the Agromass Falcon 3. Under front loaders, the Quickie Q5M. Under front loader tools, the Albut Universal Bucket. And under weights, you have the Agco 2300 as well as the Claas W900. So, good amount of stuff to start out with. Right in front of us is a wardrobe trigger, and right here, sleep trigger. Go ahead and go out the gate here. And right here, you have a horse pasture. You can have up to 5 horses here. And here is our greenhouses. So you got your large and your medium greenhouse right there. Around the back side here, you do have a hay loft right here. Store your hay and straw. And right here, you have your silo. Pharma 800, so 800,000 liters. A lot of your starting equipment is right here. Your tractors and your harvester, all right there. Over here, we have our pig pasture. 30 pigs can be held there. And here is our cow barn. I believe it's 80 can be held here. Yes, 80 here. And over here, have your chicken pasture. 30 can be held there. And then lastly, you have your sheep pasture, where 15 can be held. So now we're going to go ahead and hop in our truck. And now we've got a lot of driving to do. So, make sure my notes are in the correct order. There we go. Okay. Now, word of warning, a lot of the roads are incredibly narrow, and a lot of that's because the bushes that are placed right on top of the road. They actually kind of overhang into the road. You'll see as we go along. So the road gets narrow, but there's no traffic on the road or anything like that, so you don't have to worry about it in that regard. But it does make driving around a little difficult, and sometimes the hedges are lined with a fence, so you can collide into them. I've found that out the hard way a few times. Shop menu right here, shop trigger, and repair trigger right here. And now we have to backtrack towards the farm. One thing you're going to see a lot here is a lot of backtracking. There's a lot of single lane roads to a lot of sell points and a lot of various places around the map, and there's really no getting around it. And then over here, okay, to my right, this, oh, right in there, I just passed right by it, right here. That is the, oh, I'm going to butcher this, Les Jardins des Fermiers Farm Shop Sell Point. Oops. Yeah, that's a long one. So here we need to make a left. And you can see the road, especially on these dirt roads going back to these different areas, can be incredibly rough in places. So drive carefully. I'm trying to get there in a hurry, which is, I know, is going to end in disaster at some point. But you can kind of see what I was talking about, how narrow the hedges kind of creep into the hedges narrow the road and just creep into the road very drastically. It gets very tight in some places, and there's one part of the map you'll see where it's almost impossible to see the roadway. There we go. This is the next point of interest. Over to my right is the debris crusher. To my left, just over here, right there, that is the lime station buy point. So what I'm going to do from here is two things. One, let's go ahead and take a look at the map where we were and what we've seen. So we started the map right here. We teleported to the farm over here, and we took in the greenhouses, the hayloft, the Pharma 500 site. Why am I... Oh, that's why I'm only seeing part of it. Okay, so the farmhouse, the horse pasture, the greenhouses, the hayloft, the Pharma silo, the pig pasture, the cow barn, chicken pasture, and sheep barn. We then came out around here to the shop trigger as well as the repair trigger, came back out, down and around here, over around here, and then into this area. Now, the reason I'm showing you this is that if we click on this, you cannot, or you can buy this area over here, which caught my attention as to why this little area is just all by itself. So what I'm going to do here is, instead of driving out there, I'm going to walk out there just real quick, and then I'll teleport back to the truck because it's a lot easier. So over here, I noticed this right at the very end of my walkthrough before I started recording this. Open it up here. You have a little quarry here full of lime. Check it out. You can purchase this, farmland number 17, for 15,707, so you could have all sorts of lime at your disposal. Alright, so now teleport back to the truck, and we will head out. So we're just going to follow this road back out towards the town there. be able to just kind of pick back up where we left off. Like I said, the unfortunate part is there's lots and lots of backtracking. And if you have to come out here using like a tractor or something like that, something that's not your pickup truck where you can go out there at 70 miles an hour, it's gonna take forever. But if you take your truck, you can see how much I'm bouncing around right now. You know, you take your truck and you're going 70 miles an hour, you might go into the river or, you know, whatever the case may be. It's not going to end well in most cases. So up here, you have the gas station with a biomethane refill as well as an electrical charging station right there. And then in the back, you have the fast food restaurant sell point, and that's just tucked away in the back behind there. Now from here, was it? Okay, yeah, I think it's this way. Wait. That doesn't seem right. Nope, not right. This way. Unfortunately, one thing that I will say that is kind of on the... Oh, and right here is where we started. It's kind of on the not good side about this map is the road network is incredibly difficult to see on the map itself. In some areas like here, it's virtually non-existent on the maps. So you're really going to be dependent on finding where a lot of these are from the air, using the build menu or things like that. And that's what I ended up having to do. You can see just how overgrown the track is right here. Which, it would be really cool, this part, like, it being so densely packed with the foliage right there, would be fine if you could purchase that area to be able to expand it out ever so slightly. But all the road networks are non-purchasable, which really, in my opinion, really stinks. Because, like, look at this. This is, like, you're getting to points where you can't see where the road is. Alright. So, right here in front of me, you have the animal dealer. You can purchase from here directly and have your animals delivered to your pens and pastures. The problem is that you have a delivery fee associated to it. You can also buy your animals from your pens and pastures at the farm, again, incurring a delivery fee. But if you bring an animal trailer all the way out here and load directly into it and then take your animals to their final destination, you save that delivery fee. Over here is your animal dealer sell point. And that is it over here. So now we have the long trip back. One thing I will say is the road network, although a lot of places are overgrown, like, you got a lot of these like really cool features, like these cliff faces looking over these kind of valleys, these kind of grassland valleys and stuff. Like, there's some really cool features on this map that really kind of set it apart from a lot of other maps that you may have played in the past. But ultimately, there's a lot of like different networks, and the map really kind of forces you to figure out what the networks are to get to specific places, because you could potentially find some places where you could field hop, you know, from place to place, but it's one of those, like, you're probably going to have a lot easier time just following the roads. Here we go. Starting to open back up as we get towards the town. Let's see. Now from here, Just looking over my notes real quick. Yes, animal. Okay. So head across the street over. Whoa, a lot of grass in the road there. Okay. Coming up on my right is the bakery production point. You can purchase this for $50,000, and you have an input, an output right there, an input right there. And then across the street, right over here, first one directly in front of me is the pizzeria sell point. It's just there in the back, and to the right, or to the left, is the supermarket sell point. You'll be able to see the sell point for the pizzeria right there. Like, this is another area, all this kind of rocky outgrowth right here, going up this little trail, like that's real cool. That's real cool feature. That you're not going to see on too many other kind of maps. At least as far as I'm aware. Whoa. Yeah, like I said, there's like this little narrow canyon right here. You get going too fast, you're going to go for a wild ride. Let's see, make a left here. Yeah, and you can see right now I'm following the road network, but if you look at the map off to the bottom left of the screen, you can hardly see anything. Like, you can, only reason you can tell there's a road network here, one, I'm driving on it, but two, you just see kind of the trees just kind of lining the path kind of thing, and you're just more or less following the canopy of trees. Alright. Over here, again, this is going to be another one. None of those words I'm going to butcher. This is the Fromage de Lune Cheese Dairy. For $50,000, you can purchase this. And now back where we came. So that's one of the real bad things about this map is, unless you're driving around in this pickup or something, you're going to be going really slow. You're going to, instead of being 50 to 70 miles an hour, you're going, 26 to 32 miles an hour. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeehaw. Continuing along. Whoa! Ay, ay, ay. And like I said, you get this little clearing right here. Like, this is a cool little clearing until you come back down here, and it's just like there's a lot of really cool features on this map that are just like kind of just the way the map is designed is got some really cool. Ooh, a lot of people. A lot of real cool features in that respect. Let's see, over here. And this way, I believe, yes. So whoa. When we reach our next destination, I'll go ahead and bring up the map and show where we've been and what we've seen. Alright. Whew, we made it. Alright, so this is the GCHB grain elevator sell point. And now let's go ahead and check out where we've been, what we've seen. So we walked over to here, we teleported back to this kind of quarry area, drove back up to here, met up here. We came and saw the gas station as well as the charge points and biomethane, the fast food restaurant trigger, and then we came, where did we go? We went all the way over here, up and around, until we got to the animal dealer and animal dealer sell point. Came back around, I think we came around here, over to here, and then came up to here. We saw the bakery, as well as the pizzeria and the supermarket sell point. Then followed this road all the way up and around, came up to here until we got to the Fromage de Lune cheese dairy. Then backtrack all the way down by the forest over to over to here. Then came down this way, came up this road here to the GCHB grain elevator. Whew, man. I'm getting dizzy just from going through the map. Not to mention all the twisting and turning from the road networks back here. Okay, right here, go across the bridge. Whoa, stay on the bridge. Okay, make a right here. And now we just kind of follow this around until we get to our next set of interests, which is just on top of this kind of ridge here. Actually, we do have one before that. Coming up here to my left. That is the biomass heating plant. It's got the wood cell trigger as well as the dump point for your wood chips and straw. Now we go up this rocky roadway here. Now we're into this first kind of industrial park. To my left is the cereal factory. You can purchase this for $110,000. You have your inputs here, outputs there. In front of me is the tailor shop. 100,000 will make that yours. Inputs here and outputs around the back here. There's also in the front a wardrobe trigger right there. Right here is a spinnery for 60,000. You can purchase that. And then around this side here, inputs here, outputs there. And then over here is the carpentry. Purchase that for $60,000. You have your inputs as well as your cellwood trigger right here, and your outputs are around back here. Alright, that's kind of the first industrial zone. Now we're going to head to the second industrial zone. Okay, over here, make a right, make another right, and this is the second industrial zone. So off to my left, starting there, the dairy for $70,000, you can purchase that. Inputs here, outputs there. And here's your grain mill, no, sugar mill for $80,000. Outputs here and inputs in the back, right there. Got your oil mill here, you got your outputs and your inputs, and this can be purchased for $80,000. Right here is the grape processing unit. Purchase that for $80,000. You have your outputs here and your inputs there. And over here, you have your grain mill. For $96,000, you can purchase that. Inputs here, outputs there. Okay. Now, whoops, make a right. Now this is where it gets impossible. So watch what happens here. Gets right up against the fence line here. And then, whoa, if I were to continue following the road, it goes this way. Nope, where I want to go is over here, following this kind of canopy in this general direction. But you can see, look how overgrown the road network is. You can't see where the road is. So you might as well just go there. So now is the sawmill. You can purchase for $100,000. You have your wood chip output here. You have your input right here, as well as your wood cell trigger right. No. Yes. And your wood cell trigger right here, and your outputs are right there. And that is it. That is the map. Now it is time to render my opinion and let you know what I think. 0 to 5 scale, as always. I was willing to give this map every bit of a 4, maybe even as high as 4.5, because of just all the kind of cool areas and all the cool areas and features and stuff. I was really wanting to give it good marks because I thought that there was a lot of cool stuff that kind of set this map apart from a lot of others. But then I started seeing like that roadway there and how overgrown that is. The industrial parks, they're just so bland. They're all the stock giant software. Nope, didn't mean to go this way. Let me go. All the stock giants skins on the factory and whatnot. So it's just one of those that the industrial areas, although there are industrial areas, they're just really empty and I don't mean for this to come off as harsh as this may sound, but boring. The areas look boring, and it's so underwhelming when you realize, hey, you're on top of this giant cliff at one of these industrial parks. It's like, oh man, we should be able to take advantage of the natural beauty that's already there. And then you have all these like really cool kind of key features along this map. You've got this kind of river running right through it that just divides the entire town up. And it's just like an absolute dud when you get into those areas there, in my opinion, because it's all just stock and standard. It doesn't look like any kind of love was put into that portion of it other than just boop, there it is. You've got like this area here is another example. You've got the bakery that's just on this big giant plot with no decorations, no trees, no nothing. I mean, it's just here. And it's right in the middle of this huge vacant plot. And the biggest problem of all, you can't buy this area. You can't do anything with this. So even if you wanted to be able to come up here and buy the industrial park to try and do something, you can't. You just can't. You can't buy the area that I'm at here. You can't buy the bakery because you can't buy it. And it'd be awesome if you could buy these areas. That way you could literally turn around and add the decorations and add that stuff, and then it would be completely savable. But the fact that you have this very basic, boring, industrial park area here, you've got the production point here that's just out in the middle of nowhere, and that's not to take into consideration as well. You've got the animal dealer that's tucked away all the way down here, And even though, again, yeah, it's a stock uh, place, you've got this lake feature right next to it, and it really helps you kind of forget that, hey, this is stock kind of thing. And that's one of my biggest pet peeves about things when maps are made. I'm okay with the use of stock productions and buildings and stuff like that. That's not the issue. What the issue is that, especially to this magnitude, to this degree, when you have, like, look at all this open area. All this is huge, tons of area, tons of wasted space, and it just looks empty and gray and blah. I mean, I'm not trying to come off really harsh here, and this is all for constructive criticism. I am always, as I say in multiple map tours, extremely grateful to every single map maker out there who brings content to the community and puts out something that, in this case, it's got some really great parts. And then there's this. So, long story short, how do I stack up on this? Where do I find it? 0 to 5 rating. I was willing to give it a 4, maybe even a 4.5. But then I got to the sawmill and realized that, hey, the road is missing and there's nothing I can do about trying to fix it up. There's nothing I can do fixing this area. I'd give it a 2. When everything's weighed out and put together, I'd give it a 2, and I want to give it more because there's so much about this map that's really unique and really cool, but I just can't bring myself to do it. I just cannot do it because of how bad some of the areas, like, it brings it down to, in my opinion, that much. But like I said, I'm not saying this to be, be mean. This is constructive criticism, and I hope and am thankful. Well, one, I'm thankful for the map maker making this map, and I'm thankful for every map maker who makes content for this game, because it just makes this game that much better every single time that anything is put out there. Mods, maps, everything. This is only intended to be constructive criticism, so hopefully when and if the map maker goes out and makes their next one, they can take this into consideration if they happen to hear it. If they happen to come by and see, hey, think about putting more decorations in here if you're going to use stock skins production points. Perfect example I can give, and I'll always sing their praises very much, Zero Ito. A lot of their maps are using the same exact stock production points like this here, but the difference is that they're always encased with multiple decorations, multiple stuff, and it makes the file sizes a lot higher, yes. And in this case, this one was less than, I think, 100 megabytes to download. I'm looking that up right now. 92.22 megabytes to download, so less than 100 megabytes. So not a bad file size when everything's said and done, but this is why it's so light. It's because of, this wide open area with nothing but a couple of production points in it. It's really sad. I would have really loved to give this a higher ranking. I just can't in good conscience. But that's how I feel, and I wish I could say different, but I hope you enjoyed this map tour. If you did, please show them by liking, sharing, subscribing, following, commenting, doing all the things the algorithms enjoy you doing that shows you're engaged with this channel and enjoying the content. And that being said, I hope you have a fantastic day. Take care.